So until and unless you go through a certain phase of having certain characteristics, you don't grow into the person that you are today. So when the audience is just not responding, it does take your morale down. I think one emotion that is very difficult to express, difficult as in challenging, I would say, to find the correct musical expression, is anger.
Was there any guilt or shame associated with that decision? And do you think women face it more than men do? Hi, everybody. This is Hema Thakur. Welcome to a new episode of Inside the Mind, where we speak to various professionals about mental health from their perspective so that we don't restrict this conversation to spaces that are conventionally associated with mental health. And today we have with us the incredibly talented singer Nihira Joshi. She has been a part of Saregama 2005 as one of the finalists. And since then, there was no looking back for her. She's done a lot of playback with Shankar Ehsaan Loy, Shan, Arijit Singh, and several others in Bollywood, as well as Marathi music and independent music, as well as live performances, and has garnered awards. She's also been nominated for the Maharashtra State Awards. So we are incredibly honored to have her with us. Thank you so much for doing this, Nihira.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, Hema.
So, if you'd go back to your younger self, on the sets of Saregama 2005, what would you tell yourself?
If I had to go back to my younger self on the sets of Saregamapa, I think I would want to tell her to be a little more aware of her own surroundings.
Okay.
I'm a slightly, in my own zone kind of a person. So I would want her to be more aware of her surroundings and many things actually. But at the same time, when I think about it, all this is a part of evolution. So until and unless you go through a certain phase of having certain characteristics, you don't grow into the person that you are today. So I would want her to change, but at the same time, I would want her to stay the same because I want Nihira to go through that journey and come to where she is today. And I would want to continue this way.
So, when you speak about this awareness of surroundings, how do you draw the line in terms of awareness and being too conscious? Because, to not sort of depend entirely on the audience's reactions or their claps as a performer.
Well, it's a tough task to completely stay disconnected from the audience claps but somewhere, when I've always been a person who, when starts singing, I sort of switch off from everything else. So for me, it was slightly easier, but yes, it is a difficult task. When the audience is just not responding, it does take your morale down. But you have to then just think about what you can do. What is the best that you can do to bring even a dead body alive? What is it that you can do from your side? And just keep doing that and not get affected.
And speaking of your, when you decided to move to Germany, was there any guilt or shame associated with that decision? And do you think women face it more than men do?
Well, as for moving to Germany, I don't think there was any guilt or shame as such, because it was a decision that was made for the sake of the family.
Yes.
My daughter was small at that time, and I've always believed, and my husband too, that to stay together as a family is the most essential thing for the husband and the wife, and mainly for the child. So there was no guilt and shame. There was just a lot of inner struggle of leaving behind everything that you've built, and the struggle of the isolation of living in a country and a place that was very extremely silent and calm, going away from Mumbai. So that was the real struggle. And as for guilt and shame, I think in general women are more susceptible to that those emotions in any situation in life. So I think women have to learn to fight that.
True. And since you spoke about isolation and everything, how did you stay connected to your roots while over there?
While over there, staying connected to the roots, well, you have to keep doing your riyaz. That is something I made sure I kept doing. I stayed connected with my family, with my musical friends, as in collaborators. I kept doing music over there. I kept composing, and all of this goes with a huge support from my family, husband and daughter. They are supremely supportive.
Right. So when it comes to, music and you also mentioned Riyaz and everything, does it also help you connect with your emotions? And which emotion do you feel is the most difficult to express during Riyaz or even during live performances?
That's a very good question. The emotions that come very easily in a musical expression are sorrow. It comes very easily. Disappointment, joy comes easily. I think one emotion that is very difficult to express, difficult as in challenging, I would say, to find a correct musical expression is anger.
Mm.
In Indian music, or even if you look at our bandishes or songs, रूठना बहुत आसानी से, रूठना मनाना, वो बहुत आसानी से, जाओ जी जाओ हर किले का ना जाओ, that is just just teasing.
Correct.
It's not real anger. So I think I find that a little difficult, but I'm sure I'm trying to find the expression for anger, but that is one emotion, definitely.
And do you think that is because anger itself is such a complicated emotion? Because it can
Yes.
be, it can be grief transformed into anger because you're suppressing some other emotion and you're kind of.
And that's coming out, and it does not have social sanction because
Right.
people judge you when you express anger.
Exactly.
And that's the reason I think people find it difficult to express anger the most, which comes very easily to rock musicians for some reason, growling. But in Indian music, it's a little difficult because as a society, especially for women or in general, anybody, expressing anger is out of the radius of social sanction or the accepted correct behavior.
Right, right. And since we spoke about expressing emotions through music, what about, when you are in a certain emotional state, when you're extremely sad, for example, what do you think about the practice of listening to sad music? It is cathartic to an extent, but is there a point where it's like, don't delve in that?
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets overwhelming also, but at the same time, it happens with me when I'm going through a negative emotion, sorrow, disappointment, hopelessness. I do tend to listen to those songs and live that emotion. And a lot of times these emotions come out in the form of you expressing something, either musically getting inspired by what you listen to, or in the form of tears, something. And that does lead to catharsis also, but at the same time, it is overwhelming. I agree.
Yes. So you've given us an inkling into what you're listening to, but if your life had a playlist right now, what would it be like?
Well, you do listen to different forms of music, different types of songs, and a lot of times it's either a reflection of your own emotions or something that you're trying to learn musically also. So right now, I think what's ruling my playlist is Charahi Kali Ghata by Begum Akhtar.
Lovely.
Then there are some few salsa bachata songs that I listen to. I love Latin music. So those. There is a song called Ni by Varajashri Venugopal, which I keep going back to. A few rags by Kishori Amonkar, Kishori Tai. These, one song that I keep going back to all my life is Kahin Dur Jab Din Dhal Jaye.
The classic.
From Anand.
Yes. We can see the cross-cultural language influence over here. Do you think learning other languages sort of opens doors even emotionally towards that? Yes.
Of course, because I learned Spanish and then, I also learned salsa bachata, dancing, and getting exposed to that form of music, I realized that, these Latin bands, they have a very positive energy in their music making. They're very nonchalant about the intellectual stuff that they do. They don't even realize. They do it very easily without making a big deal out of it. And their main intention is to enjoy what they are doing at that moment rather than being judgmental about perfection. So when I listen to these Spanish songs or these Latin songs, there is a certain amount of carefreeness in their music making that I would absolutely love to bring inside myself.
That's very interesting, the contrast. And, you've also sang bhajans, for example,
Yes.
and there's this new one that's come up, Trishna Bandhan, if I got it right.
Yeah, that came out in 2022. It was an album
Okay. All right.
that I made in 2022-23
Yes.
called Trishna, which
Yes.
had 4 rag-based compositions, wherein each song expressed one form of longing of Radha's for
Yes,
Krishna, and that's why it was called Trishna.
That's a very interesting angle because we usually see Radha as this, perfect epitome of love, the personification of love. But, through these ragas and everything, we also see some insecurities expressed. And,
There's one song in that album called Trishna Bandhan Ki,
Yes.
where we tried to do this. Usually we have seen the love of Radha Krishna as perfect.
Yes, exactly.
But this is one song where we showed Radha actually asking questions to Krishna, raising her insecurities, her fears, and her imperfections. So that is what was very unique about this song for me when the writer came up with this idea, and I loved it.
I think that also resonates with our central idea of sort of accepting those emotions as well without labeling anything as negative or positive.
Correct.
And so couldn't think of a better way to kind of end the interview. But do you have any final message for your listeners or for aspiring musicians as well?
Message? Well, I would just say that keep putting in your efforts from your side, keep doing your best, and don't give up. The universe will listen to your prayers.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you,
beautiful. Hema. Thanks a lot, and we shall see you in the next video.